Hey guys, welcome back to the desert. Welcome to episode 2. I'm trying to learn the YouTube trick where you can snap your fingers, but not there yet. So I guess I'm gonna have to actually go through and do all the work. As you can see, a lot of parts. If you guys have received all your parts, you'll know what I'm talking about. If not, well, this is what you've got coming to you. As you guys did see that I mocked up the interior in the previous video. I need to do it again just so I know where things are, because I am planning on making quite a few changes to the interior. So I just need to make sure that I have space for everything and that everything will indeed fit. I have found out that the alternate ramp that I got does not line up with the corridor on the inside. I already knew that the corridor, of course, didn't line up on the inside. But I also found out that I'm going to have to do some serious modification to make all the corridors even fit together inside the ship itself. And as you know, if you've done any research at all, when they built the set for the Millennium Falcon back in the 70s, it turned out, of course, nothing fit. So the inside is a bit of a hodgepodge, so we'll see what goes. I found something interesting here. I was looking for parts for the mandibles, and I noticed that I actually have 2 packages of number issue 85. And it turns out later, as you'll see, when I decided to start putting together some of the mandibles, I was trying to get rid of some parts, like the skins for the top and bottom, and other parts. I was trying to, get the mandibles out of the way, and as I discovered, I'm actually missing the parts from issue 82. I have 82, the issue, but I don't have the parts, so I think I may have received 2 packages of 85. The parts you just saw there were the landing carriage, the landing carriage underparts for the body. I filled the holes because there are big holes in there for bolts to allow you to mount it to the monitor stand that comes with at the end. I'm not planning on using that. Again, I'm planning on having my mount come in from the side through one of the escape pods, so that it'll be less intrusive. And I really don't want to have a big mount sitting at the bottom. Again, to get rid of some of the parts and to clear out my box of waiting parts, I decided to go ahead and build the top and bottom halves of the fuselage. This is me working on the top. Lots and lots and lots and lots of screws. I recommend get yourself a good screwdriver. The one that came with the kit, of course, works. I bought another one. The one I have, as you can see the green one there, it's not good. I would recommend definitely getting a better one. You will be happy with a good screwdriver. There are more screws in this thing than you know. So, yeah, get yourself a good screwdriver. Take your time. Be very careful when you are putting the screws in. They strip. The screws strip, the plastic strips, the metal strips, everything strips. So be very, very careful. Treat this like you're putting screws into butter. Seriously, I don't know. They just seem really good. But of course, it is plastic. But just be careful. Just a little tip from myself. So here I'm just finishing up the rest of the top half of the fuselage. I did start to put together the pieces that go over the engine housing. I didn't screw them on, of course, because they do fall off. I'm debating what to do. I have seen some people add fans and motors, to the fans in the back. I don't know if I'm going to do that. Not quite sure. I do like the idea of having some ventilation in there because I do plan on adding an Arduino or Raspberry Pi or something to control all the lights and the additional features that I plan on adding. So it would be nice to have some cooling. And it'd be kind of cool if the actual cooling fans, cooled the interior of the model as well. All right, so we got basically the top of the fuselage done. Again, not sure how many screws, but yeah, it did take quite a while. So yeah, leave yourself some time. Again, I wanted to get rid of them. I wanted to get it out of the way so that everything was done. Then I could just put it away. Just try not to bump yourself like I just did, because it is big. But it looks kind of cool, though. It's kind of neat to see it all together. So here's where I slowly start discovering that I'm actually missing some parts for the front mandible. This is the bottom 2 pieces. I got those together again. Now I need the side pieces and then the top. So here's most of them, and there's the pieces I'm missing. I'm missing the middle metal frame and then the frontmost starboard side All right, so here I've enough, putting things together, talking about what I'm going to do, mocking things up. So I actually started. Sorry, I didn't get the first part of it on film. I'll show you some of the fiber optics I've done in a minute. But I went ahead and started one. This is the Circuitry Bay where Han first kisses Leia. Um, I got an aftermarket part from off the Shapeways. Yes, I wanted to add lots of lights. I know this isn't going to be very visible. Basically, the only way you're going to see this room is if you look carefully through the little doorway. But I figured this would be a good place to test. I've run, one or two fiber optic cables before in models, but I've never done anywhere near what I'm planning on doing this one. I think for the Circuitry Bay alone, there was 50 strands of fiber. For the sides of the cargo hold here, there are not very many. This side does have a large hole for either a bigger fiber optic or just an LED. And then I just made an additional hole. There was a spot that seemed like could be a good spot for a light. So I went ahead and did that. I'm using E6000 for the glue. I did do some reading online. People, of course, they don't use hot glue because it'll melt it. Don't use CA because it'll dissolve it. I am going to get some silicone just because I think it's I just like it. And I can use it for other stuff as well. I don't really want to use white glue, again, just because it takes a while to dry. But the E6000 seems to work okay. Mine just happens to be black. I don't know why I ended up getting black one, but it works. I just put a little bit on a cap, and then I didn't have any toothpicks, so I'm using a skewer, and then just put some just a little dab will do you around each of the fibers to make sure they don't. So it's actually pretty relaxing, kind of calming once the holes are there. Making sure the holes are all the way through is kind of annoying. Just because when you get the parts, especially the aftermarket parts, most of the holes have some either wax or releasing compound or something in there. I tried to boil them first. One of the suggestions later on, then of course I went ahead and got some acetone, which made it a lot easier. You can see here these are the maintenance bays for the main cargo hold. The fiber optic that I'm actually wrapping around the top is not an end light, but a side light fiber optic. So I haven't played with it yet, but I was thinking that if it did light from the sides, I could wrap it around the top and have kind of a glow coming in to the. So this is how I clean the holes. Again, even after I soak them in acetone or even boil them in water or whatever. Most of the time the holes still have some in there, and of course I ended up some of the parts I primed, which then filled up the holes already again. So what I do is I use a piece of guitar string. You can get 0.08, 0.09, 0.10, which are like 0.2 millimeters, 0.25 millimeters, which is great, and they're a lot stronger. I do have a set of miniature drills. I think they're mostly for CNC, but they do work. I have broken most of them. Every time I try to spin them, they do break. The guitar string, like I have right here, if you cut it at an angle, like I just did, and then put it in a pin vise and turn it slightly, it actually makes a really nice hole. It's super clean. You can go through it back and forth a couple times, and then what I do just to clean it out is I use one of the CNC drills. But again, just be very, very careful because any slight movement left to right, and the tip snaps off. But it does work, and this way all the holes are nice and clean. These are the sides of the cockpit. There's the door. It's actually for the cockpit. I have a door for the circuitry room already. I just wanted to make sure that the light in the door for the cockpit matches the one in the circuitry room. So I was just double checking to make sure they're both in the same location. Again, just using the guitar string to make a hole. It seems to work okay. And if I do bend the string, I have plenty of other ones. I did do some modifications to the cargo holds already. I wasn't trying to make it movie realistic. I just want to have fun with it. I wanted to, if you look at the ship, maybe it can be fun if there is a serious, Star Wars fan that comes over and wants to tell me all the mistakes that I've made. Awesome. That's be kind of like one of those, mystery pictures. You have two pictures and see if you can find the errors in one. So that'll be my Millennium Falcon. See if you can spot the error. No, it's gonna look nice. It'll look good. It'll have enough lights and things like that. I just wanted to, I want it to look good, but I don't want to spend so much time making it 100% movie accurate that I don't have fun making it. So I do want to have fun. So this is what I've completed today. Again, I did the circuitry room. I drilled the holes in the maintenance phase. I wanted to maybe put some LED lights shining towards the bottom because I'm not quite sure how that side light, this side light strip's going to work. So I put 4 holes, one in each corner of each of the circuitry bays, so I can have just a fiber optic shining in from the side there as well, just to illuminate the bottom. There's the side of the main cargo hold. The other one's over on the other side there. This one doesn't have any fiber optics in it. This one did. So I just want to make sure when I put it down, I'm trying to make sure that I don't kink them. I have been trying to check them as I go along. I try to make sure that they're not any permanent kinks in it, make sure the light still goes through. It's a 1/4 of a millimeter. It's really, really thin. So I'm just trying to be as careful as I can. Anyhow, I think that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for your time. I appreciate it.